right, so what's the story you wanted to tell me?
So Saturday night was a boring day. I was just doing schoolwork. And I'm playing, Hearts of Iron with my brother. We're kind of just chilling. I'm listening to some music.
Scaring the hose away?
Absolutely. Guardians of Virginity. So we're just hanging out. And I hear my dad scream bloody murder downstairs. And this is around 11 o'clock at night. My dad is usually in bed by like a crisp 8:15. So already red flags. So I stop what I'm doing and I go downstairs. And I smell this really putrid stank. Like, it was disgusting. The whole kitchen reeked. And I see my dad. He's pacing back and forth. And apparently this huge skunk, like, ambushed my dog. And just, like, sprayed her good. And I see kind of out in the yard, she's, like, pacing. And she's blind and coughing. All this, like, I don't even know the spray. Yeah. So it was a huge skunk, though. It was, like, as big as a raccoon. It wasn't, like, one of those small skunks. So my dad's freaking out. And my dad, he's lived in Philadelphia all his life. He has never really experienced skunks before. So he is like absolutely freaking out. He has no idea what to do. He's pacing, he's screaming. We call the vet to try to get it, like the veterinarian hospital. And he's like trying to get an appointment. And I go downstairs. I'm like, Dad, it's all right. It's not a big deal. So the thing I do is I go outside and I just get a towel and I just clean the dog off. I get the all the, I don't even know what the hell it is. This spray. Felt so bad.
I think you're supposed to like give him a bath in tomato juice or something.
That's what I did next. So I cleaned the dog off. I'm starting to stink. And I then, I cleaned the dog off. I pet her, calm her down because she was absolutely berserk. So then I run downstairs and I get tomato juice. I find 2 drums. And my dad's been stockpiling food since the beginning of the coronavirus. So we eat a bunch of tomato juice for some reason. I'm pretty sure it was expired long ago. So I go upstairs. We pour it into a jar, like a big kind of like bucket. Austin and we do that. And then I go out to clean the dog. And my dad goes, wait, this website I'm reading says not to use tomato juice. And I said, Dad, that's dumb. We're going to use the tomato juice. He's like, no, we need like peroxide and all this cleaning material. And I'm like, Dad, let's just stick with the tomato juice. Everything. He's like, no, I got to find it. So my dad, he takes off into the night and starts banging on doors in the neighborhood looking for, I don't even know what. And he's like absolutely panic mode. And I'm just like, all right, get me the tomato juice.
What's he telling people?
He's like, my dog got sprayed by a skunk. I need peroxide. I need this, and that. I'm going to create a elixir that's going to get rid of the stink.
Your neighbors probably think your dad's a meth head now.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was like my neighbor, he's Chinese. He's like, and he like works at FedEx. He's like really tired when he comes home. He just shit, boom, boom, boom. I need help. Like everyone's waking up. I'm sitting there, hands in head. I'm like, this is actually not a big deal. Like this is just, it just happens. It's a part of life around here, or anywhere. So, my mom and I get into a car and we have to go get this peroxide or this something. So I drive her to like CVS around like 11:30 at night. It's dark, it's creepy, and I like drop her off. And in New Jersey it is like military junta style COVID lockdown, so you can't go anywhere without a mask on. And you got the social distance. So I didn't bring a mask. I was just sitting there in the car like in my pajamas and wife beater. And she goes in and we can't find any cleaner. So we just give up. We decide to go down with the, tomato juice method, just whatever, screw the website. So we drive home and I find towels all throughout the yard, scattered throughout the yard. And soap and stank. It's not even stink anymore. It just stank all throughout the yard. Towels everywhere. I'm like, what the hell? So apparently my dad, because it was getting cold, it's a winter, in Philadelphia. So it's cold. It's like, I don't know, like 40s. So my dad takes the dog inside to the laundry room. But in the process, he tries to spray the dog with the hose or something and wash her with a towel. And I guess the dog got loose, started running around the yard because there was towels everywhere and soap everywhere. And I was stunned. So we go inside. The dog's fine. I got all the stuff out of her eyes and she was coughing a little. But it was just not what I expected. It was just this huge skunk to ambush my dog. And I feel bad because she's a rescue. So she's only been here for maybe 3 weeks and she's been kind of a little timid, but she was starting to come out of her shell. She was happy, positive. And then now she just looks miserable, just looks sad. I just thought it was funny. But the dog's
she got
fine.
skunked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened to my dog when I was a kid a few times. Yeah, because we kind of lived out in, like, I don't want to say the woods, but, like, it wasn't, like, in town, so there was a lot of empty lots for, like, animals to live in.
Yeah.
And we had a black Labrador named Shadow, and he'd get fucking skunked probably, like, once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'd always have to give him, like, tomato juice baths and shit.
Yeah. I just thought it was funny because that's actually what you're supposed to do. But apparently, I don't know, in their panic, they look something up and they say, you're not supposed to do that. And it's like, it's just a skunk. It's not a big deal. Not the end of the world.
Why was he so against the tomato juice? Because, like, that wouldn't hurt the dog.
The article just said not to do it. And I guess he was in panic mode. I don't know. I feel bad. It was he goes to bed at 8 o'clock. He's old school. He wakes up at 5 a.m., you know. So I guess it was past his, bedtime, and he was burnt out, and he just didn't know what to do.
Sounds like the dream, man.
Yeah, it does.
The few times a month that I actually, like, go to bed at a good time and wake up super early, I feel so good about it.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah, I wish I could do it consistently.
Yeah, same here. You remember when I left October, I went to my family's like shore house to stay for a couple of days, or it was about like 2 weeks, and I was waking up every morning at 5 o'clock, and it was phenomenal. I was going to bed at maybe like 10-15 tops. We'd play like Sea of Thieves for like 2 hours. I'd go to bed, wake up, I don't even know, the whole day was mine. It's such a good feeling.
It really is. One of my, like, best experiences this year, and this is, like, so sad. It shows how boring my life is right now.
Yeah.
I woke up at like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Just had a cup of coffee, played some I was playing Final Fantasy 14 at the time, so the MMO.
Yeah.
Just played the MMO with my roommate for probably like 2-3 hours. Went out for breakfast, came home, still had the entire day ahead of me.
That's phenomenal.
Had the entire house cleaned and ready to go by like 10 a.m. Oh, it was so good.
That's nice.
Yeah, put some dinner in a crock pot and just played games for the rest of the day.
For me, I think my best experience was just waking up at 5 a.m. and just watching the sunrise, you know. I mean, I did nothing with the day. I mean, the whole day was mine. I did jack shit. But
still though.
It's good. It's good. I love waking up, seeing the sunrise. And when you have autonomy in your life and you don't have to wake up at 5, most of the time people don't. You just sleep until noon. And
yeah, like I did today.
Yeah. I slept until, I think, 10. I stayed up till, I think, 3 a.m. last night. I was having some nasty insomnia. And I'm just sitting there staring at the ceiling. You know, nights like that, I really should just start playing games or something. You know, I shouldn't just stare at the wall. I should, like, play games all night.
Yeah, that's the worst, when, like, you manage to get to bed at a decent time and you just stare at the wall for 4 hours.
It's like, it's just great. Well, you know, it's a part of life.
Yeah.
What's going on with you, man?
Oh, not much. We're about to have a bunch of weddings and then Thanksgiving's coming up at work, so got a lot of work to look forward to the next 2 weeks. But I did get the new Xbox, so I've been playing that as much as I can before I'm at work for 60 hours a week.
Oh,
so,
man.
Yeah.
That's exciting. So
it's been fun.
Oh, yeah. Can you go into a little bit more detail? Tell us the games you're playing, what exactly you're doing.
Mostly playing Yakuza. It's the one I was looking forward to the most, which is really good. I'll talk more about that in a bit, though.
Okay.
Tested out all the games I have that are Series X enhanced, and they look good. I don't think any of it has ray tracing yet, though. And I think the only 2 games that no, 3. I think there's like 3 games that support ray tracing right now. And I don't own any of them, and I'm not gonna buy them. So we'll wait and see for something to get updated with it.
Oh, that's cool.
But I played Apex. Nice. I've been playing that a lot. That got enhanced or patched the other day. That runs a lot better. Gears 5 obviously looks really good.
Yeah.
The multiplayer specifically is nice because that runs at 120 FPS now.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's super smooth. It's the best Gears experience I think I've ever had. Played the new Tetris game, which is like, I don't know if it's a sequel or just like an enhanced version of Tetris Effect, because I never got to play that because that was exclusive to PlayStation for a long time.
Yeah.
But that's really good. Played that a lot with my roommate. I played like 10 minutes of the Ori game that got enhanced. It looks really good. I'm going to dive more into that after I'm done with Yakuza.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. My Mortal Kombat is actually updating right now. That just got its patch for its enhancements, so I'm gonna try that later today.
Nice.
And then I just tried out a handful of like 360 games that didn't get any patches, but quick resume and auto HDR and all that.
That's awesome.
And they look good. I played a lot of Fallout on the new console. The load-in is really fast. Like, I'm just clicking around the map to quick travel, and it's like literally 2-3 seconds.
It's like a night and day compared to the Xbox I got right now.
It's night and day compared to, I feel like it's even faster than it was on my PC.
Really?
Because I did a PC playthrough like maybe 2 years ago. And I feel like the load times are quicker.
I'm jealous. I'm definitely going to pick up a Series X myself once, I don't know if they're passing any new stimulus checks or anything, but I'm going to save up, see if I could pick myself up a copy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. I don't think it's anything anyone needs to hurry out and get. There's nothing on it that you can't play on your current Xbox right now. However, if you have the money to spare, it is quite a nice upgrade, and there will be exclusive experiences in the future.
Like I said, I'm very jealous. I love the stop or zoom feature. It's just great.
Oh, it's great. I have like Yakuza running. I can switch over to Apex, play a few rounds with my friends, and I can hop right back to what I was doing in Yakuza in like a matter of seconds.
Wow.
And yeah, I don't have to reboot the game or anything. It's just right back to what I was doing.
Can you go in a little bit more detail about the new Apex season? I've been meaning to play it.
Oh, yeah. I've been playing Apex off and on since it came out.
Yeah.
So I haven't played every season. I think I've played like season 1 and season 4 or 5, whatever like that Bloodhound season was. But this new season, I guess they added a new map. I'm saying I guess just because I don't know if it's new to the season or not, but it's new to me. The new map is really cool. I don't know if you've seen it yet or not.
I have not. That's what I've been curious about.
Okay. It's like a floating city sort of thing.
Really?
Yeah, it's just really cool looking, and it's got a lot of like just cool areas to it. There's a bunch of new characters. I can't remember her name, but it's like the Scottish lady. And she can, you know how Octane has the jump pads?
Yeah.
She kind of has an ability like that, but it works a little differently. I like it more than Octane. And her ability is she can throw this, like, black hole thing that kind of, like, pulls people towards it. Yeah. It's really useful, especially when you got, like, a bunch of squads in the same area.
Yeah, I've been meaning to play the new season. I know it's out on Steam. They got crossplay now. I've been playing off and on with our mutual friend Mike. And he's at like a really, I guess, top tier. He's really good at the game, and I'm awful. So every time we play, just miserable. It's a miserable experience. I know I got to play by myself and slowly relearn the game because I played it extensively with you at launch and then kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
But I really want to get back into it.
It's great. I think it's still the best battle royale out right now.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. I still just play Pathfinder though. Like
Pathfinder's fun.
I rarely play any other character. I'd rather have mobility than like anything else.
Yeah. For me, I really like Octane. I like to just like inject myself with needles and just jump over things.
Yeah, you just like to head out and run across the map.
Yeah, just it's awful though. My gunplay is absolutely atrocious.
Oh, same.
Atrocious.
I'm slowly getting back into it, but I feel so bad because like there's so many situations where I feel like I'm just such a third wheel in my squad, like I'm not helping out that much.
Yeah, that's how it feels like on my end. It's just like I see a guy, shoot at him, I die immediately. Like it's just death.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I get what you mean, man.
Yeah.
We'll have to play together sometime. Maybe we can actually get paired if like people as shitty as us.
Or maybe I'll just do just slightly worse than you, and you could just like betray me, cut my head off, and win the match. It's just so bad.
So I know I've been telling you to play Yakuza for a while, but I'm gonna tell you again: play Yakuza.
Oh, I will.
I don't know why it took me so long to get to this serious, but I'm in love with it. And the new game in particular is just so good. If you have the $60 to spend right now and you're looking for like a good like 100-hour experience, that's just the nature of JRPGs. They're all like pretty long. It is so good and it's super funny. And something that I didn't realize about this game going into it was that it's not just a JRPG, it's more of like a parody of JRPGs. Like they're kind of like tongue-in-cheek, like making fun of like tropes in JRPGs and referencing other franchises and stuff, and it's a ton of fun. It's a blast.
Oh, I bet. I really want to get into it. I've been looking for a kind of a game to fill the void. I finished Fallout a couple days ago, and I'm kind of in this in-between stage where I don't really want to commit to anything new, but I kind of do at the same time because, Cyberpunk's around the corner.
Yeah, I think this is perfect because I'm one of those people that, like, if I quit playing a game like a JRPG for a long time, I can't come back to it. This one is simple enough that I feel like you can play for a couple hours, take a week off, and come back to it, and you're not really going to have any problem remembering what you're doing because it's not super complicated.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I'm going to have to get into it.
No, definitely.
Yeah. I don't know. I finished Fallout. I did the Yes Man ending, of course. I couldn't help myself.
Of course.
I love the playthrough, though. I mean, I think I might go through the DLCs, but I'm really, like I said, in this in-between stage, because Cyberpunk is right around the corner, and I feel like I want to sink so much time into that game that I might as well wait.
No, I'm excited for Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'll have Yakuza done by then, and I'm not sure if I'm going to drop Yakuza to hop into Cyberpunk or not, but probably going to have to.
Yeah.
Because Yakuza is going to take a while to finish, and Cyberpunk's like December 10th, right?
Yeah, I think it's the 10th.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to have some overlap there.
All right, let's jump into some of these news articles. Unless you got anything else to finish up with Yakuza.
No, that's about it. Just go buy it, play it, enjoy yourself. All right, what do we want to talk about first?
Let's jump in with kind of Microsoft. They want Bethesda games to be first or better or best. That article.
Yeah, so looks like we pretty much got confirmed what we assumed was going on with this whole Bethesda acquisition.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much just, they're not saying no to Bethesda games coming to other platforms. It seems like they're kind of confirming that you're still gonna get Bethesda games and everything else. They're maybe gonna do like I'm trying to read between the lines here. It sounds to me like you're probably gonna get like timed exclusivities, but like big ones. Like it might be like a year or two. So like you might get Elder Scrolls on Microsoft platforms exclusively for like at least a year. Or this would piss me off if I was a PlayStation player, but like, and I hope this isn't the route they go down, but maybe like ray tracing and stuff like that's exclusive to the Xbox version. I really hope that's not they go with, because that just seems kind of scummy to me. But I can see this as really just being more like timed exclusivities, which is nice, but at that point it's like either just go full exclusive or put it on everything. Like I'm starting to wonder if like them spending this much money on Bethesda was even a good get if they weren't just gonna go full exclusive with the IPs.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird strategic move, all the money they sunk into buying Bethesda, if they're not going to use it to its fullest extent.
I guess the real get there was that now just every Bethesda game is on Game Pass as soon as it comes out, which would appeal people to get Game Pass. But I guess we'll see if that pays off for them.
Remains to be seen.
But that's pretty much it on that one. Have you heard about PlayStation players getting pretty much a big advantage in Cold War, the new Call of Duty game?
No, I have not.
Okay, so I was watching a video about this the other day from Yanye. And apparently on PlayStation, if you play Cold War, you get all sorts of exclusive shit. And it's like actual, like, I would consider it advantages. Like, you get extra loadouts. There's, like, XP advantages I saw. Like, if you're in a squad with a bunch of people. And most games do this. If you're playing with other people, you get, like, what would be considered a squad bonus. So it's usually, like, 5% extra XP. But, like, it seems like that's just exclusive to the PlayStation version now, which is stupid. Or they get more XP. Yeah. I'm not sure which one it is. Wow. And just like exclusive double XP events. And like normally this type of stuff wouldn't be that big of a deal, but the game's crossplay now. So that means everyone who's not playing on PlayStation isn't getting this stuff.
That's ridiculous. That's just straight.
In a way it is. There. And it's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they didn't see like people not being mad about this.
See, that's just it's really gamey. See, it's ridiculous. I know we were talking about this earlier before the show, was that people are not really a fan of this new Black Ops game. That the zombies isn't good. Some of the maps aren't that good. And now this, I mean, it's ridiculous. This is blatantly ridiculous. And I honestly, I agree with you. How did they think they were going to get away with this? People are going to have a complete uproar. That if you don't get the PS5, you're not going to be able to get to the better gun, and it just trickles down.
Honestly, it's like I'm surprised more people aren't mad, because like I'm seeing some people like in my corners of like Twitter and social media that are talking about it, but it seems like the the community at large just isn't talking about this, and it's really surprising to me. And unfortunately, I think because of that, they're gonna get away with this.
Yeah. See, now I'm thinking. I was actually thinking about picking up Black Ops, but now I just don't think I will.
When it comes to Call of Duty games, I always wait a week or two, because like the first day is the honeymoon period for the community, where like even if the game sucks, everyone says it's good and they like it and they're enjoying it. Then it's like usually by the end of the week you start to get the real picture of what's going on. And now I'm starting to hear like, the maps kind of suck. The gunplay is not as good as Modern Warfare. Zombies isn't as good as it probably could be. But I'm hearing the campaign's good. So when it goes on sale, maybe I'll pick it up for the campaign.
Yeah, I might as well. Dude, let's segue into Destiny. Beyond the Light DLC for Destiny 2 was on Game Pass, which I thought was awesome. So I was able to play through it this weekend. And there's a big concern within the Destiny community about this new DLC. And it really goes down to the fact that they vaulted a lot of content, like all the early DLCs, a lot of locations, and then they also sunsetted a lot of gear as well. So that means that basically gear can't go up a certain level, so you can't really use it in raids or PvP. So a lot of people are upset because now that there is such a void of weapons and armor, and this DLC just really can't fill. It's a very small DLC. So, and there's only a few amount of guns you can unlock, so it just seems like Bungie decided that there was just too much content, that Destiny 2 was too bloated, so they got rid of a lot of it, which I thought was smart, because I got into the game about 5-ish weeks ago, and it was bloated. There was a lot to do, and I did feel overwhelmed. But now it seems like they simplified it to a ridiculous level, to a point where, there's not anything to do. And this goes down to Destiny's strategy, which is like a content drip almost, where they sprinkle a little bit of content at a time throughout a season. So people are really upset because there's not much to do. But I thought the DLC was good. It was on Europa, so it's like this ice planet. You got a new ability. It was a fun enough DLC, but now I'm seeing the reviews. And it's just interesting to see, because I don't know what Bungie's going to do now. Because I thought it was, like I said, it's smart to get rid of all the bloated, all the fat, But now it's just too
lean.
It's too boring now. It's just too easy. Yeah, I burned through the DLC in 3 days, and I think now I'm just going to collect all the exotics and gear, and I'm just going to move on.
And that's it.
Nothing's keeping me.
Because you said it's a content drip. What's the roadmap looking like? Are they adding like a little bit of new stuff every week, or?
Yeah, something around that. Yeah, they're going to add a raid eventually. People are really just not enjoying it. They don't like to wait around. I guess it's kind of, I don't know exactly what they're doing, but I know it's kind of respecting people's time a little bit. You get all this stuff done this week, and then next week you do this, but I don't know. A lot of people are upset, and I understand if you're playing this game every day and you're not really doing anything anymore. You run out of things to do, when a couple weeks ago you were doing endless amounts of activities, endless amount of guns and loot, and now you just did everything in 3 days with this new DLC. It's upsetting. And I think a lot of people are upset because they've worked so hard for, a legendary, a exotic gun or an armor set, and now it's just null and void. You can't use it anymore.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, I like the DLC. But, it remains to be seen what Bungie does in the future.
Oh, that's disappointing to hear. Hopefully that gets better. That's
I think it will.
It's really unfortunate to hear, because I know like after Bungie kind of like bought Destiny back and left Activision, there's like a lot of hope that the game was gonna get like just really good again. And it sounds like it did, but is this like the first like real blunder since they've like taken it back?
So a lot of people were thinking that, you're taking away all this content, but in return you're going to give us essentially Destiny 3. We're going to have so much more new stuff to do. But it seems like it's kind of like we're getting rid of all the old stuff, and now we just got just a little bit of things for you to do currently. I don't know exactly what their strategy is, but I'm pretty sure they're going to fix it eventually. I mean, it's ridiculous. But a lot of people are upset because they thought Activision was the tyrant, the one making the game so terrible. And now that they left, they created their own DLC. Everyone had such high expectations, and now everyone's just disappointed. On Steam, the reviews are overwhelmingly negative. And this is a $40 DLC. It's very expensive. Thank God I had it on Game Pass, or I wouldn't have played it. That's basically it. I mean, I'm sure in a couple of weeks they'll fix it.
A lot of people play Destiny, and
Yeah.
I haven't been hearing good things about it lately, like what you're saying. Yeah, I hope this gets
Yeah.
fixed, because Destiny is a company that I really, even though I don't play Destiny, I really do like them. Hope they don't fuck up too much.
Well, yeah. I think because it's Bungie, I think people are going to give it a pass. They're going to complain, Bungie's going to fix it, and everyone's going to move on.
Yeah.
You know, but this can't be a recurring issue.
I agree. Well, hopefully they learn from it. Alright, so I was talking to you earlier, and you kind of floated this idea by me, and I thought it'd be, I agree, I think it's an interesting idea. So let's talk about the first Xboxes we got and what led us down the path to starting this little podcast on the internet.
Absolutely.
So what was your first Xbox? How did you get it?
I got it for Christmas. 2007, I think.
Was it an OG
Yeah,
or
2007.
360?
It was a 360. I don't know. I don't know exactly how I got into it, but everyone was talking about Halo at school. And I just got obsessed with the idea of it. You know, I took my mom to Target, and she thought it was going to be E for everyone, but it was M for mature, so she said no. You know, and I kind of haggled her for weeks and weeks. My brother and I really wanted to play it. We played Halo at a couple friends' houses, and eventually, you know, she got it for Christmas, and we got
That was your
Halo
first one?
3. Yeah, that was my first one, 360. And I remember I set it up immediately, just jumped straight into Halo 3, got confused, got stuck on Floodgate. You remember that mission when the Flood first lands? We did the whole mission, right? But you had to hit RB to activate the terminal to get Cortana's message. Didn't know what the RB thing meant. So we just spent hours roaming around the map trying to figure out what was going on, and all we had to do. Yeah.
How old were you?
Yeah, and I was like, not.
Oh my god.
Maybe 9 years old. Yeah, so that was funny. But I think that was about it. I just wanted the
Did you get any
360
other
for
games?
Halo.
Just Halo 3?
No,
I mean, it's a good
just
one.
Halo 3. And I think, yeah, it was phenomenal. It was like an eye-opening experience. And we couldn't get past that Floodgate mission, so we just played the first, I think, 4 missions over and over and over again for like a year and a half. Till
It
I finally
took you
figured out
that
what it was gonna
long?
be. My brother and I. Yeah, we were young, you know, and I think at a certain point we just like decided, what was that mission? The Storm.
Yeah.
You know, you fight the Scarab. So we just fought the Scarab over and over again. And then eventually, I think a year later, we figured it out, and you're able to. And they had such cool missions after that. And then I think we got stuck on Cortana because it was too creepy. You know, where you have to go and find Cortana. We got too scared, gave that up, and then it took another 6 months. And then we finally beat Halo 3. And we play it, once we finally get through it, we play it over and over again. And then ODST came out. And I didn't know the name for ODST. I thought it was like Halo ODBT or something. I said it wrong. And I go to Target, and I try to get my mom to get it for me. She says no. But she does, because it's too expensive, but she does get Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 2 for like $10 each. So my brother and I then just burned through Halo 1, Halo 2, and then Halo 3. We're just constantly replaying it. And then eventually I get ODST. And then I think I get stuck because it was too complicated. The night missions, walking around at night, I got lost, gave that up. But 2009 was really, really a perfect year. It was just everything
Nice.
I wanted, you know. And I spent most of my time, I guess, gaming as a kid was mostly Star Wars, the Lego. You know, the complete saga. I played it on the Wii, I think I 100%ed it. But yeah, Halo was definitely an eye-opening experience as a whole. It was great.
Yeah, so my story on how I got an Xbox, it was, I'm not sure if it was 2002 or 2003. I think it was 2002. So I was 5. I was really young. And I don't know. This must have been 2003 then. Because I think I was like 6. Because my sister was already born and we're 5 years apart. But my parents got me the original Xbox, and it did make me mad, but I really wanted a GameCube at the time. But my dad really wanted me to get an Xbox because at the time, I think the people he was working with was telling him the Xbox was better. So he decided to make like that executive dad decision on, I know you want a GameCube, but I'm telling you this is better. And I'm a little mad at him still just because it took me longer to get to play Sonic Adventure 2 because I was a really big Sonic fan. But I'm glad he did it because what happened was I got an Xbox for Christmas, which was also my first DVD player. So they got me a DVD of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, which was like my favorite fucking movie.
Nice.
The Mask. They got me Pac-Man World
Classic.
2. And then it also came... then my uncle got me this driving game called Reckless, which was really fun. And then the console itself came with one of those dual disc games that every Xbox used to come with. Now I think this was the second version of the original Xbox. So the first one came with the more famous dual disc that was Jet Set Radio Future and Sega GT 2002, which both of those are really good games, but specifically Jet Set Radio Future is one of my favorite games of all time. And I got that a little later, but that game is really good if you've never played it. But the one I got was Star Wars: The Clone Wars and Tetris Worlds. And me and my uncle probably sat there for like 6 hours straight going between Pac-Man World 2 and Star Wars: The Clone Wars. And that's still just like my favorite Christmas memory ever. That Christmas specifically was so good. And then at the end of the night, just putting in and watching The Mask and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies over and over again. It was a ton of fun. Like, I'll never forget that.
That's fantastic.
And then about a month later, I went to my grandparents' house, and I used to play with the neighbors there. And they also had an Xbox, and that's when I first saw Combat Evolved. And I don't think I'd ever played a first-person shooter before. I think the only thing I've ever played I was close to, it was like a light gun shooter. Because we had a Dreamcast as well, and me and my dad used to play a lot of House of the Dead 2. So I went in to their house to play with them, and the girl I used to play with, her older brother had the Xbox, and he had just gotten Combat Evolved. And I just kind of sat there and watched him and one of his friends play it for like an hour, and it blew my mind. Like, I could not believe what I was seeing. And then they finally just let us play with it because they went outside to like go skateboard or something, because it was the early 2000s. And...
Yeah.
And like we had no idea what we were doing, so we just sat like that first room where like you get out of the cryopods, and we were just like jumping around the room for like 20 minutes. Like that was just fun to us. And then as soon as we got the guns, it was just punching each other in the back over and over again because we thought it was funny. And that's how I discovered Halo.
For me, I think the moment that blew my brother and I's mind was, you know, like you're driving around the mongoose, you know, your gun goes down, you hear like on the radio, it's getting closer. And then, like, you just hear the shaking, your controller starts vibrating, and then this big scarab, this big robot, just crawls down, and you have to take it down somehow. You know, it just blew my mind. Just how huge it was. You know, this huge battle erupts, and you have to jump on, you gotta board it. It's awesome. You know, that was really what sucked me into video games as a whole, and then it just went out of control from there. It's just... It was stunning.
The first time you boarded a Scarab in Halo 2, I think, was when I realized that, like, I love Halo as a franchise. Because, like, when I was a kid and that happened, I thought that was, like, the coolest shit ever. Like, I just remember, like, especially, like, dual-wielded. I think I, like, boarded it dual-wielded plasma rifles. And I'm just, like, killing everyone because it's easy and you can just kill anyone with anything without any trouble. And you take down the Scarab and you get the cutscene and shit. Oh, it was so good. But that reminds me, so do you remember back in a day where you didn't really have access to the internet, and if you knew video game magazines existed, you couldn't always get them because your mom didn't want to drop the 10, 15 bucks, whatever the ridiculous price was for those magazines at the grocery store. So the only time you knew that a sequel to a game was out was when you would go to the store and just see it, or if you were at like a video rental.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me for Halo 2. I had no idea Halo 2 was a thing. I just walked into like a video rental store sometime in 2004, like a little bit after it came out, and I just saw this giant cutout of Master Chief dual wielding the SMGs. And I was like, what? There's a sequel? And like I just like remember like running to the Xbox aisle and seeing copies of Halo 2 and just like begging my dad to rent it, going home, playing it. And then that mission where you play as the Arbiter for the first time. I was so fucking excited because I was like, A, I just thought it was really cool to play as an alien, but two, the first that I did was I went to go switch weapons or whatever, because I was like, yeah, and I was like, does this mean I get to use an energy sword? And then as soon as it happened, I remember just like screaming with excitement, and my dad screaming, shut the hell up from the kitchen.
I remember that scene too. I remember watching the cutscene, my brother and I, and it's a cutscene. I'm like falling asleep on board, I'm not paying attention. The arbiter lands, he gets it, unsheaths his sword, and then just you're playing as him like, hold the clock, stop the clock. What's happening? And I was stunned. It's awesome. And then you got the invisibility, armor ability, and you're able to sneak up behind people, and I think that what was interesting about it was that you weren't even hunting humans. You were hunting like a rogue group of elites with all this like crazy armor, and then the flood shows up.
That really confused me back in the day because I was young enough that I didn't really pay attention to stories, and I could read, but like I was still learning how to read, so like it was kind of tiring to read to me. So like I just did not know what was going on, and I was really confused that I was killing aliens as an alien. It probably took me like another 2 years to like actually go back and like pay attention to the story and figure out what was going on.
Probably the same for me too. I know those cutscenes by heart now. I'm not afraid to be a minute, but back in the day, man, I was just like really confusing. But it was awesome though. Great mission. I remember I kept getting lost though because of how dark that mission got near the end. With the flood everywhere.
That's how Combat Evolved was for me, because when I eventually picked that up, which wasn't long after I saw it, because I told my dad about it and he really wanted to play it, and thankfully I had a father who like played games too, because it made it easier to get games.
Yeah, that is interesting that how your father, played games, because my dad he never touched a video game in his life. I think one time I tried to get him into Halo Wars in 2009, and he wouldn't play Halo 3. He refused. It said it got him too nauseous. Do you have like a strategy game? So I get him Halo Wars, and he's like, I'm going to throw up. And he goes upstairs. Like, he never touched a video game in his life. So every time I would bring up these video game ideas, he would be really freaked out by it, really confused.
Was it just like motion sickness?
Yeah, he would get really motion sick,
That's what all my friends' dads were, but I don't know. My parents were pretty young when they had me, so I guess I just lucked out. But, yeah. So it just made it easier to get games, because like my dad would... He'd saw it as something he could do too. So we had like a lot of original Xbox games. And anyways, I was getting off topic. So that's how I was able to convince him to get Combat Evolved. And I could not get past the flood levels for the same reason. It was too scary for me and it was too dark. So anytime I'd get to a flood level or a level that had the flood, I would just go get my dad and tell him he had to do it, and then I would just like sit and watch him play it. I remember just watching him like play that. Like,
or did he get lost?
It took him a long time, I think. Like I remember sitting there, like kind of being bored because I think he kept getting lost. And he eventually got through it because I remember we beat the game, but it took him a while.
Yeah. For my brother and I remember we got into the library and you just see the big bloated popcorn flood, they explode on you. We were just terrified, just screaming, running there everywhere. We're trying to run through the mission. And I remember you could see the index right at the beginning of the level. So we spent maybe 30 minutes trying to just grab the index, jump over, grab the index. But you kept dying, you don't make it. But it's like they're teasing you. So we kept trying to like grenade jump over, try to get the index. And eventually we just fought our way through it. But what was that mission? Keys. Where you go back on the Truth and Reconciliation and you have to like punch Captain Keys in the head. That took my brother and I maybe 5 months to complete. We kept trying and we would get up to Keys, right? And he's stuck in the flood grave mine. And it scared us so much that we would just turn the Xbox off. And then we were never able to get to that part again. So we just kept trying. The flight kept getting lost. It was a phenomenal experience though.
Oh man, I could talk about this stuff forever, but I'm should probably save some of it for later episodes.
We should,
my dad's obsession with Ghost Recon. That man played so much fucking Ghost Recon.
I remember, I'll say this before we end. For Red Dead for me was very interesting because as a kid I used to spend a lot of time with my granddad. My granddad, he's old school. He's like 85 now. A big John Wayne guy. So as a kid, I used to come over and we used to just watch John Wayne films all day. Just nonstop John Wayne. And then when I got Red Dead Redemption, it was like putting on a glove. Like I just loved it. Just absolutely loved the revolvers. Phenomenal. Anyway, I think it's a great place to stop. So
right about the 40-minute mark. I'd say that's a good length. All right, well, guess we'll hit the dusty old trail. Get out of here.